It began with an itch, a slight nagging irritation on his left ankle that 15-year-old Temesgen from rural Ethiopia barely noticed at first. He scratched absent-mindedly while tending to his family's cattle, assuming it was just another mosquito bite in the humid African heat. But this was no ordinary insect bite. Deep beneath his skin, something sinister had taken root, something that would transform his body into a living nightmare over the coming years. By the time Temesgen turned 18, his left leg had swollen to nearly 5 times its normal size. The skin stretched taut like an overinflated balloon, developing thick, leathery folds that resembled an elephant's hide. His foot became so heavy he could no longer lift it properly, dragging the monstrous limb behind him as he walked. The villagers whispered that he was cursed. Doctors initially thought it was a strange genetic condition, but the terrifying truth was far worse. Temesgen's body had been hijacked by parasites. The culprits were Wuchereria bancrofti, thread-like worms barely visible to the naked eye. They entered his bloodstream years earlier through an innocent mosquito bite, then migrated to his lymphatic system, where they began their slow, systematic destruction. Like tiny saboteurs, the worms multiplied by the thousands, clogging the delicate vessels meant to drain fluid from his tissues. As the blockages worsened, lymph fluid backed up with nowhere to go, causing the horrific swelling that transformed his leg into a grotesque, non-functional mass. What made this parasitic invasion so insidious was its patience. The worms worked silently for nearly a decade before Temesgen noticed anything wrong. By the time his leg began its unnatural growth, the damage was already severe. Treatment with anti-parasitic drugs could kill the adult worms, but couldn't reverse the lymphatic damage already done. His only hope was a series of painful surgeries to remove excess tissue and improve drainage, procedures his farming family could scarcely afford. Temesgen's case, documented in the Ethiopian Medical Journal, represents one of the most extreme examples of lymphatic filariasis, a parasitic disease affecting millions in tropical regions. But it's far from the only way parasites can distort the human body. In remote villages along the Volta River, doctors have documented cases of hydrocele, where parasitic infections cause men's scrotums to swell to the size of basketballs. In Southeast Asia, some women develop grotesquely enlarged breasts after parasites invade their lymphatic systems. Perhaps even more disturbing is Dracunculus medinensis, the fiery tempered guinea worm. This parasite grows up to 3 feet long inside its human host before emerging, often through the feet or legs, in an excruciating process that can take weeks. Victims describe feeling the worm move beneath their skin like a living cord before it finally bursts through in a searing blaze of pain. Traditional treatment involves slowly winding the emerging worm around a stick, a practice so ancient it's thought to have inspired the medical symbol of the serpent wrapped around a staff. Then there are the flukes, parasites like Paragonymous westermanni that invade the lungs after people eat undercooked crab or crayfish. These flatworms form cysts that can grow for years, sometimes being mistaken for tuberculosis or even cancer. In rare cases, the parasites migrate to the brain, causing seizures, paralysis, or death. A 2017 case report from Japan described a woman who developed strange tumors in her lungs that turned out to be parasitic cysts containing live flukes. The psychological toll of these infections often matches their physical horror. Many victims face ostracization from their communities, with swollen limbs or other deformities being mistaken for curses or divine punishment. In some cultures, women with filariasis-induced breast enlargement are shunned as unnatural, while men with genital swelling may be rendered impotent and unable to marry. Modern medicine has made tremendous strides against these parasitic nightmares. Mass drug administration programs have eliminated lymphatic filariasis from several countries, while guinea worm disease is on the verge of being eradicated worldwide. But for those already living with the deformities, the battle continues. Innovative surgeries and compression therapies can help manage symptoms, while psychological support helps victims reintegrate into society. Temesgen eventually found help through a specialized clinic in Addis Ababa. After multiple surgeries and years of physical therapy, he regained some use of his leg, though it would never look completely normal again. His story serves as both a warning and a testament to human resilience. It reminds us that in our interconnected world, something as small as a mosquito bite can have life-altering consequences, and it proves that even when faced with nightmares made flesh, the human spirit can endure. As climate change expands the habitats of disease-carrying mosquitoes and globalization spreads parasites to new regions, these stories take on renewed urgency. They remind us that the line between normalcy and bodily horror is thinner than we'd like to believe, sometimes no thicker than a mosquito's proboscis or the skin of undercooked seafood. The next time you feel an unexplained itch or notice strange swelling, remember Temesgen and the invisible invaders that reshaped his life. In our modern world, parasitic nightmares aren't confined to medical textbooks. They're lurking in the shadows, waiting for their next opportunity to transform human flesh.